it's a goodbye song from this man that's lived this troublesome life. He's moved from place to place, and he's I think basically he's done his time, and it's time for him to move on and leave his legacy.
Believe me when I say, believe me when I say, not everyone likes peace, not everyone likes peace, not everyone likes peace, not everyone likes peace, it's just me, Bellissi.
Hello and welcome to the new episode of Nelp. I'm Bellissi. I'm an independent artist, a music producer and writer. This will be the last episode in this season of Nelp, and I'll bring it back later in the year, in late autumn or sometime. And so for this last episode, I want to talk about the latest EP, Sing for This Man. I'll take you through the process of writing the tracks and what the tracks mean to me and what they're about. Now, as an independent artist, we are barraged with people giving their opinions on how we should be making our music, promoting our music, and certainly releasing our music. And this group, there's a certain group out there, on social media, that tell you exactly how it should be done. And I'm hearing all the time, albums and EPs are dead. Don't do them. Independent artists, new upcoming artists should not be doing them. You've got no right to do them. That's what we're told, okay? So now, being a sheep, and I've never been very good at being a sheep, I followed along, and for a couple of years I just released singles, and then maybe at the end of the year I'd collate them all into an album and release it that way. But it just didn't feel right for me. It didn't really do much. I didn't get a lot of traction like they said that would happen. But more than that, it just didn't sit right with me. I come from a time where albums were what you based your time on, certainly your whole year. You waited in anticipation for that next big album to drop by your favorite artist, And so that's what I wanted. I wanted that buzz around the album. I wanted to feel like an artist, and that for me is what a musician is, an artist is. They release a few singles and then it's the albums. That's what I've always bought, and I still do. I still buy albums. And so that's what I thought, I wanted to feel part of that club, and if it meant that I wouldn't get as many streams on Spotify, then fuck it. I couldn't care less, really. I want to release the albums for the people out there, for the fans out there that want to listen to, an album. And if you've listened to albums recently, a lot of them, they do have a story. There is a structure through them with the singles, and there is obviously an industry for singles, but they're sort of a little bit throwaway, whereas an album takes you on a journey, and that's what I like to listen to, and so that's what I like to create. And so to my new EP, Sing for This Man. It's the second EP that I've released this year. I released Male back in March, April time, and then the follow-up was Sing for This Man. And I decided to do that rather than two albums. I released an album last year, and this year I just wanted to do two sort of simple EPs. They didn't really turn out very simple, but that was the idea behind it. And so this is Sing for This Man. The first track on the EP is called Nerium. Now, Nerium came from, it's a plant, Nerium oleander. It's a beautiful but highly deadly, I think it's a shrub, and it has these little flowers on them, and it's stunning, but it's so toxic that even if we was to brush past them, we could feel that toxicity, and certainly if you eat them, you're dead, you're gonna. And I loved that thought of something so pretty yet so deadly. And so when I began writing Nerium, this song about being tough enough to exist, especially as a musician, as an artist, and all this music bashing, and like I just talked about, everyone telling you what to do, Nerium just sprang to mind. And I think for me, Nerium is more of a poem, than a story or a tale. I do like to write. I like the storytelling in music, in song, but this is just more of a poem. I laid the music down really quickly and I found this deep, real guitar riff that I loved playing around with. And then I just riffed my thoughts over the top, really. And that's how Nerium came about. And it is quite biographical. I'm coasting through life, never really getting anywhere, certainly nowhere fast. And, that's how it feels, I think, sometimes just on this road, And I think the whole sort of first season of these podcasts have been about this, on this road of this independent artist and this being an entrepreneur or business, starting out in small business. It's so lonely and it can be very, very tough because we are going alone. It's not, don't go on your, I keep saying 9 to 5, but you know what I mean by that. You just don't turn up for work and they say, hey, Richie, you're over there today or you're over here today, or, a 999 comes in and off you go to that. And then, you finish when your shift ends. There's none of that with this job. And so when I say coasting, it does feel like I'm just coasting along, waiting for my set to come in, And I felt like it was a good opener for this EP. And I think Nerium sets the tone of where the EP is going to take you.
Just listen to the music, it's destiny. If you don't listen to the music, it's ecstasy.
The next track is the title track, Sing for This Man. Now I've got a few go-to songs that I play when I'm at rock bottom. When I wanna feel those blues. I don't want to escape. I want to be on the floor, flat out, and I want a song to suit. And there's a few songs that I turn to. There's The End, the obvious choice by The Doors. I love that song. There was nothing better than I used to love with a pack of smokes and a bottle of whiskey, sat on my own, headphones on, listening to that. But those days are gone without the whiskey now. I can still listen to it. And there's a few other songs as well. But there's a big one, and that is Carrickfergus. Now, and it's an old Irish track. If you don't know it, have a look. It's really, really hard to find the version that I listen to because so many people have done it. The Dubliners do a cracking version of it, but it's not the one I listen to. But it's very similar. But I love the feel of Carrickfergus. It's a very sad, deep song. And with that track in mind, I wrote this very simple acoustic melody. And I began to picture this old, weathered man on his last journey, really. It is a goodbye song. It's not my goodbye song, not yet anyway. However, there are some biographical elements to it. As always, it can be quite hard to get up every day and hit the studio creating that art that, sometimes in your head you're thinking no one's ever going to hear, but that's life and I chose it. And so, Sing for This Man is a little bit about that. There is a biographical element, but I think the big thing is, it's a goodbye song from this man that's lived this troublesome life. He's moved from place to place, and he's I think basically he's done his time, and it's time for him to move on and leave his legacy, and that's Sing for This Man.
Broke this town, it falls today. Cause more trouble, the blows now bring. Father, take me home.
The next track is She's Safe. And I won't go into that because I did a whole episode on She's Safe. So you can go and have a listen to that. But I'll just quickly say that I'm still really proud of that track. And it works as track 3. And this is what I like about albums and EPs because, like I say, of the journey, you know, you're brought in with Nerium and then you're taken just a few steps down with Sing for This Man. And then you've got She's Safe, which She's Safe, I think, brings you back up because it's, I think the melody of the song is quite high and the chorus certainly, you know, is a little bit rockier, but still the subject matter is quite deep in typical Bellissi style. But there's a good outcome to it, and that's She's Safe.
Don't worry now, no. Don't worry now, no. Don't worry now, 'cause she's safe. No lonely nights, no. No scary nights, no. No crying nights, 'cause she's safe. No caring now, no. No caring now, no. I'm caring now, 'cause she's safe.
The fourth track is the fun track. And I always like to do a fun track on an EP or on an album. I don't do many. And my father's always telling me, why don't you write happy songs, you know? And so I was just playing in the studio like I do sometimes. And these are how these sort of tracks come about. There's no guitars on it. It's all synth and electronic. And when I do that, I think it does bring out the happier, fun side of me. So I did just play around with a load of different sounds and a lot of synth and electric bass and drums. And that's how Overdose came about. And initially it was called Feeling Good because if you've listened to the track, you know, it does say I'm feeling good. But I thought that was too obvious. So I changed it to Overdose. And it's a simple, dancey track about new life. That's the way I see it. A new life, a new day to do whatever the fuck you want to do with it. And just go and have fun, go and dance, go and be in love, do whatever. Just OD on that fun. You know, that's what Overdose is about. Simple as that.
A new day today.
The penultimate track on the EP is probably my favourite track, and it was the first track that I wrote for the EP. And for me, it's about a woman that sort of takes in this stray lad, and she becomes everything to him. You know, she's, like he says, she's more like a mother to me. And she represents life. You know, he follows her wherever she goes and listens intently to her teachings, you know, her sermons. And I called it Bleached Horizons, which to me means that you're always on that heading, you're always traveling, but the destination just seems to keep being moved, you know, such is life, you know, and the horizon is there, but it's different. It's not the same. It's changed. It's stained. It's bleached. And so, that's Bleached Horizons, and it's my favourite track on the EP, and I hope you like it too.
She had those bright eyes with a burn of the darker side. She lived up those skies of blues in a room with the clothes on, with the stench of 1,000 rows of tomorrows can't come too soon. Now call up the renegades. Now I'm not gonna save it all this anymore. I was all alone. She was like a mother. She was like a mother to me. So I
The last track on the EP is Butterflies and Silhouettes, which is a track I wrote for my wife, Catherine, for her birthday this year. And I do this now and again as like birthdays or anniversaries or Valentine's and things. I'll go into the studio and I'll create a song. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's absolute shite. And in the case of Butterflies and Silhouettes, I think it wasn't just a throwaway song, which is why I included it on the EP. It's obviously a love song, but I think it's more than that. It's a track that states intention and that this earthly existence will not contain my love, but will transcend forever through time. And again, it's a very simple track and it's very, very short. And I think I've started to do that. Apart from Bleached Horizons, I think that's over 4 minutes. But the other track's sort of hovering around 2 minutes. And I quite like that. It's I don't do it just because it's easy and because it's simple. It's just because, I don't know, some songs just go on and on and on a little bit, And I like that, you go into a song, you get the chorus, you get the verse, you get the story, and then it's over. If you want to listen again, you listen again. And I quite like that. So Butterflies and Silhouettes is quite a sweet little small number, and it's simple as that.
Butterflies and never buys, and those silhouettes full of 1,000, no regrets. Butterflies and silhouettes, I'll never hide in your love I rest. I'll get my highs with you in bed, with your breath it burning upon my chest.
And so that was it. That's Sing for This Man, the EP. And I hope you like it. If you haven't listened to it, please go and listen to it. And I'd love to hear your favourite tracks and what it means to you. I think that's the biggest thing as an artist. And if you ever want to know what you can give someone, an artist, is to tell them your take on something or what you liked about something or how it made you feel. That's amazing to hear. So if you ever want to, if you want to ever reach out to me and make me smile, that's how to do it. Tell me how that song made you feel, or a certain song made you feel. I've already begun working on new material. I did say I wouldn't bring out any more new material this year, but I'm already writing new tracks now. So maybe I will get an album in at the end of the year. I don't know. I was going to do a best of Bellissi because there's like 3 past albums and loads of singles that have sort of just been buried, really. So, and they do need remastering, so it will take a lot of work. But I think I might leave that till next year. And so I might do some more music this year, maybe just a small album, a little bit bigger than an EP. I've already started writing. Like I said, there's 2 tracks that are in the process of, I think they just need some lyrics now, really, and we'll see how we go with that. And being in the studio, as we are now, I can't help but create. It's what I do. I had a discussion earlier today, actually, and they said, well, it's your job. It doesn't matter how everything's doing or, the numbers, and like we've talked about before, that bollocks, it's your job. Go and do your job. Go and make music. And so I think that's probably what I do, and it's the greatest therapy for me, and it's cheap therapy as well at that. And I think more than that, I'm always searching for that one special track, that will ignite this journey and somehow throw rocket fuel, on this artist journey of mine. So thanks for joining me the last 10 weeks. It's been different. It's something I've always wanted to do. I've always wanted to do a podcast. So I've hoped you have enjoyed it and taken something from it. And I hope you join me again in the autumn. Cheers. God bless.
Believe me when I say, believe me when I say, believe me when I say, not everyone likes peace, not everyone likes peace, not everyone likes peace, not everyone likes peace. It's just me, Bellissi.